Welcome back to Nerdrotic. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and I am live in San Francisco, California, and this is the Nerdrotic Nooner for Monday, March 18th, the day after St. Patty's Day. I hope you are all wonderfully hungover, calling in sick to work, and listening to the Nerdrotic live stream. And if you're at work and hungover, I'm very sorry, and that I admire your dedication. That's why I don't drink, though, because I was hungover all the time. So yeah, I ended up drinking my fill by the time I was 22. So that's why I'm clean and sober and coming to you today on a great day. This is okay. I live in San Francisco, California, and I know I've actually seen it in other people's live streams that they don't subscribe to me because I live here. Well, I don't really blame them. It's not my favorite city in the world. I live here for a lot of reasons, mainly for Mrs. Nerdrotic. That's why I moved up here. I am from San Diego, California. I love my hometown, and it's days like this that remind me why I love my hometown, because it's like 70 degrees, no wind, clear skies. It's like that every day in San Diego, and this is the kind of day I would probably trip on down to 101, hang out at the 101 cafe, drink some coffee, and chill out and like sketch in my sketchbook. So yeah, and San Francisco is like really nice in the like early spring and then late fall, and then in the middle it's just socked in fog and just kind of moist. It's just kind of moist, and cold. I don't like it because I'm a SoCal. And yeah, and even though I've been up here for God, how long have I been up here? 17 years. I still consider myself a SoCal. A SoCal is a Southern Californian, by the way, for those who, well, actually, technically, a San Diego is a locale. SoCal is from Los Angeles. A locale is from San Diego, and we call them no-cals up here, but they call themselves NorCals, which sounds lame. But and they say hella a lot. Hella good, hella moist, Dr. Meatball. So I went to the gym this morning, and I'm kind of moving kind of slow because of my whole back issue thing. So I'm sorry I'm late today, but got loosened up at the gym. And in the gym, that's where I have to go to the gym every morning because that's where I formulate what the hell I'm going to talk about. And, I usually peruse a couple of articles, but most of the time, and I'm sure it's very obvious to you all, I just turn on the microphone and start talking about whatever's on my mind. What has been on my mind is a couple of Bounding into Comics articles. It's a great website. I go there. That's, I go to a lot of websites in the morning, wake up, have my coffee, go to a lot of websites, go to Deadline, kind of see what's going on. And plus there's a lot of Star Trek news. That's kind of the main thing about today's live stream. But the MCU is on my mind because I am certainly concerned. I really sincerely do not want to take on the MCU like we have been taking on Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who. I really don't, because it's good. That's not going to be fun at all. And I'll be really honest with you. It's not going to be fun because there are some really entrenched MCU fans that will see that as purely just a threat to the MCU, people trying to bring down the MCU. The video I did that I put out this morning, the writer of the article said that people were basically organizing to bring down Captain Marvel. That's not what my intention is. My intention is never to bring down a show. It is to voice my opinion. Maybe the people who run that show will listen and change their ways and bring stuff back into the middle. That's it. There's no secret code. I'm not talking in any kind of secret alt-right code or anything. That's what I want. I want stuff in the middle that's for everybody. If you want to get political once in a while, I don't really care, but it's in so much stuff now that even when it's once in a while, it's annoying because we're in these super hyper political divisive times. And it's funny in American Gods last night, Technical Boy is trying to he's a new American god, and he's trying to contact Media. Media is a new American god, and in the last season she got soundly defeated by the old gods, and she's reformatting into new Media. So while Technical Boy was trying to talk her back out from her hibernation and her reformatting, they're arguing about like pop culture basically and what the effect media has on America today. And Technical Boy says art is irrelevant. You don't need to worry about art anymore. And then media chimes back with art, and I'm paraphrasing here. Art is the single most important thing to humanity. Art basically shows how we collectively want to move forward as a society, which we could argue that all day, but that's how Hollywood sees themselves. That's how some artists see themselves. Especially when you're a full-time artist, it's hard to sometimes, I'll say this for myself, it's hard to sometimes justify what you're doing on the grand scheme of things. Like we all do that. We all wake up in the morning going, does it really cosmically speaking matter if I don't get up and go to work today? And is it really like what do I have it? What I do for a living, does it have any meaning? And that matters to some people and it doesn't matter to others. But that's how artists rationalize sometimes. And that's where Hollywood comes in, and they have clearly in these divisive times chosen a side when I really don't think they should. You can have people who are on certain sides and give their opinions, but collectively it should probably be pretty neutral. Unless you're making like a political movie or a political show, of course but we're talking for mass consumption entertainment like the MCU, I don't think they should take a side. That's just my opinion. And I'm going to voice my opinion about this. So a couple Abounding in the Comics articles today caught my eye with the road the MCU is going down, and it's certainly going down the woke road. At least that's, if we're going to take Kevin Feige at his word, and I will, and this is a guy I totally respect, and he's done nothing but good up until Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, I can totally wave off as a, hey, you dipped your toes in it just to see what it's like. But if it's a one-off, listen, I won't have a problem with it. Like I said in my video, I don't ever have to watch that movie again, and I won't ever watch that movie again because it's just bad. With agenda aside, it's just poor storytelling, no hero's journey. I've gone over that before. But it looks like they're going down this road, and there's another article that I want to go over. I guess there's a petition out there, and I don't necessarily agree with this petition, but I mean, you can make a petition about whatever the hell you want. Let me get the Bounding into Comics about the Eternals, and they're possibly they're gonna have a, I don't know. Let me get to the article and find out. The possibility of there being the first LGBTQ lead in the Marvel cinematic universe, and we're still going down this false fake woke road of we're going to have the first of this and the first of that, and if that's what it's going to turn into, and we're going to put that in front of storytelling, it's gonna fall apart. I mean, and even if you're on that side, you have to recognize anytime you take any kind of agenda, I don't care what side it is, if that comes before your storytelling, you already lost. You already lost a portion of your audience, and if that's something you don't care about, then why are you in the business of making money? I don't know. This is something I always had to be aware of when I was running my shop here in San Francisco. It's San Francisco. So even having a centrist point of view here can be considered extremely right-wing, to be honest with you. Actually, being just a Democrat here is considered a little too right in some factions in the city, and that's whatever, so I just didn't talk about it. It's been actually great for my personal life. I'm pretty stress-free. I don't watch the news that much. I mean, I'm aware of the big stuff that happens, but honestly, I don't ever click on any of the news networks, and I go about my day and I'm pretty happy. But a petition was recently launched that demanded Marvel Studios not indoctrinate children and for the upcoming Eternals movie. And here's my stance on this. The MCU doesn't even have romance in it anymore, like any kind of romance. And I don't know how necessary that is. It is kind of an important thing for comics. Comics are a big soap opera. So it is, I think, good to have a romance like, Elektra and Daredevil's thing was one of my favorite, and of course, Thanos His whole motivation was for death. So it's important to have it in. And if you want to have a LGBTQ romance in there, if it's just going to be, basic. I mean, we're not going to see anybody having sex in the MCU. We're not even going to get rated R movies. So I don't know how relevant it is. But I could argue that's one of the things missing from the MCU right now is because sometimes when you have a romance, it sets up a situation where it gives your character motivation. But as some might see it now, that they don't put romance in because that's a tool of the patriarchy or something. I don't know where people's logic comes from in this. It's very strange. But the overall thing is the MCU going woke, and I just don't want it to. I seriously don't want to be doing videos on the MCU all the time, and but I will. I mean, if it pisses me off, and we'll have to see when Endgame comes out. I still trust the Russo brothers, and it'll be very interesting to see how they weave in Captain Marvel. I read a couple places that they are going to depower her, and it turns out her powers, at least from the movie, aren't what some of us thought they were. But Kevin Feige's come out and said she's the Superman of the MCU, and that sucks because the MCU never had a Superman. That was the biggest difference between Marvel and DC. But it's clear that they're going off comic book now completely. And Odin from Odin's movie blog, he made a great point that there's a distinct difference between MCU fans and Marvel comic fans. They are not the same. There are a lot more MCU fans now. God, I said this when I had my comic shop when we were just starting phase 2. It's pretty clear that there's more MCU fans than there is comic fans, because I'd have a lot of people coming in the shop going, I don't buy comics, but I love the MCU, and they're wearing all the shirts and everything. I'm like, wow, okay, I never thought I'd see that, but great. But at what cost have we, as the MCU, brought to us with, we basically the cost of comic shops. And maybe that was the natural order of things. This was certainly on my mind when Disney bought Marvel. God, I wish I could find that podcast we did in my shop where we had 9 of us. I had my entire staff and a couple of the really good customers there, and we just went around the horn, gave our thoughts on Disney buying Marvel, the good and the bad. I think pretty much to a man and woman during this podcast, we all thought that the movies will probably be pretty damn good and the comic books will suffer at the cost of the films. And that's certainly what's happening. Now, when this thing started, before Disney got involved, it was working pretty well. There was a synchronicity with Marvel Comics and the films. When Iron Man came out, that was right around the time, I don't know exactly, the Warren Ellis Extremis storyline came out, and they were they were really trying to put an effort in making the comic books reflect the films a little bit, or at least putting on a great creative team and making that comic worth reading while the character is out in the films. And it looked like, Tony Stark looked like Robert Downey Jr. a little bit, and it helped. It helped. Iron Man sales. Oh man, I used to sell, when I first got the store, I had 8 Iron Man subscribers, 8 in 2003. When the movie came out 4 years later, I had over 100. So it certainly helped. The movies can help, but that synchronicity started going away when Disney bought Marvel, and it started getting Disney started doing its own thing. And that's where we come to the realization, and I'm sure many have already, that this isn't Marvel anymore. This is not Marvel Comics. It's not the Marvel Comics we grew up with. This is Disney Marvel Comics, which is a completely different beast. They want it to be a completely different beast. They want to get rid of the old characters that created Marvel and do their own thing, because it is theirs and they own it. And that's great. Here's the problem with that. When you're flushing away all the old customers, the ones who shepherd and steward people in to your fandom, to your property, that's, you just put an expiration date on it, basically, because a lot of people will just dip out. listen, there's the hardcore comic fans who hated everything in the movies anyway, and they're gone. And then there's the people who are kind of about it, and they're gone. Now they're gone. And now it's just MCU fans, and that will last. I mean, sure, you can probably get a good few years out of, but slowly you'll start seeing the movies making less money. I mean, Endgame, right after Endgame. Now, Homecoming, because it's after Endgame, Spider-Man or Homecoming 2, whatever the hell it's called, Far From Home, that's going to make a crap ton of money. Let's not be crazy. It'll probably, God, it'll probably do damn near just as well as Endgame, just because it's Spider-Man. I don't know, at least the first weekend, it's going to do crazy box office. But you'll see the law of diminishing returns kick in. And if you want these things to last, it's good to keep the comic book stores open. But I mean, that's clearly not going to happen now. I mean, there's always going to be some comic store somewhere. I mean, there's guys who are still doing, guys and gals who are doing great. But that's the big shops. And the little medium shops are kind of the most important thing. The big shops are like big retail stores. It's like walking into a Best Buy almost. And I don't know, the thing I like the most about comic shops was the intimacy. You could sit there and talk to the owner, talk to the other fans, and it was a club, a place you can go hang out and talk about comics. I don't know how necessary that is anymore with live streaming and the internet, but it was a good place to go, and maybe it's had its time. Let's get to the chat, and then I'll get to the Star Trek news. Variants have been killing comic stores, Chris, for years and years and years. Let me get to a couple super chats here. That actually was something people were complaining about when I bought my store in 2003. And that's the biggest thing that's killing the comic book industry, is they've not listened to the fans for decades now, especially Marvel. Got McFarlane Spider-Man comics because I enjoy his art, says Eskimo Nofono for $1.99. Thank you for the super chat. Yes, I think McFarlane is great. I've always thought McFarlane was great. Josh and Rebecca Momini. But why get rid of the old characters anyway? The thing that made the properties a success, that made you want to buy it in the first place. I don't know. I think it has everything to do with the current political climate in Hollywood. That is considered the old guard for some reason. I don't know why you just don't create new characters. And Marvel has tried to do that, but it's always been associated with another character instead of creating a brand new batch of characters. It's tough. And to do that, you have to put in the work. It takes time. And I think it's just easier for them to change the character, and you get the quicker buck, and that's it. A few years. No, they have 9 films with the final 3 going full retard. Then we'll crash and burn with Robot Man having flashbacks. The entire agenda thing is happening to the gaming industry and education systems. Tinfoil, hashtag tinfoil hat. It's happening to the education systems. I know. Well, I mean, here, yeah. I mean, my son goes to a public school here. I know it's, like I said, I can do an entire other channel on what's going on with that, but I won't. It's just, let's just say the parent teacher conferences are fun. They're lots of fun. Man, I got the sun. Hang on, everybody. I got the sun shining me in the face right now. I know you can't tell, but I'm gonna move my curtain. My vintage Star Wars curtain. There we go. Back. All right, let's get to the chat. Thanos could easily depower Captain Marvel by using Space Stone on her and taking back energy, says Mr. Anderson. I agree. Listen, I think it's gonna. Well, you didn't in that one last scene in the trailer. You didn't. I don't think you saw her walking with the core Avengers. So, if she's just in it for a minute, whatever, that's fine. I talked to a normie girl who saw Captain Marvel. She liked the movie, found Captain Marvel arrogant, heard nothing about any controversies, and didn't think about the message of the movie. And that is the vast majority of people. So for anybody who was expecting anybody to make a dent in the MCU, it wasn't going to happen. It's too strong of a brand right now. And I don't know if, bringing awareness is what I would consider the message to be from us. Like, just bringing awareness to it. That's it. I mean, I don't want to bring anything down or dent anything. But it's good to have dissent. We need dissent because they do listen. Even that guy in that article is like, oh, you don't want to listen to alt-right trolls or whatever. Well, fine. Don't listen to the 5 that you're talking about. But for the rest of us who are criticizing it, that you're lumping us in with them, you probably should listen to us. And these things take time. These things take time. If you are a critic to the government, you are a terrorist. If you are a critic to a corporation, you are a troll. We love the use of labels to group and demonize truth speakers. Yes. And honestly, it's bringing things back in the middle. And people having a huge problem with that is concerning. Just very concerning. Monopolies don't listen. They don't. And listen, the Fox Disney deal sucks. I don't think it should ever have happened. Listen, and believe me, when you see what Marvel does to the X-Men, I don't think people will be extremely happy when we get like Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine. That would be funny. I would laugh my ass off, but I got to look at that. The Deadpool Endgame trailer remake. That'd be Kevin got me to Warner Brothers. The guy in charge of DC, I think, is good. I think he's gonna turn things around. Put lipstick on Brie and make $1 million. Yes. Did we talk about Marvel Phase 4? Nah. I don't. Are they having a Phase 4? Or I kind of heard that they're gonna do away with the phase thing and just kind of introduce characters. Yeah, we're supposed to get Submariner in either Black Panther, or I forgot the other movie. In one of the other films. I forgot what the other one was. It was but I think it would make sense in Black Panther. He's crossed over with him before. I'd love to see Namor in. And I straight up want him to be a villain at first. And if they bring in Doctor Doom, do a super villain team up. That would be so cool. And if they did, I don't know if they could do Moon Knight right, Philip. If they're not going to do Moon Knight is a rated R character. He's honestly, Noah Hawley, who's writing a Doctor Who script, would be perfect for writing Moon Knight. Oh, whoa. Matthew Matson says, did you see the big Shazam trailer? Did it come out today? Because I didn't see it. And Farscape will be on Amazon Prime. Oh, no way. That is good news, folks. Also, didn't the DC guy get fired for what DC guy? Yeah, I want Namor. The Eternals is the character they're thinking about having him the lead being LGBTQ. I got to say that slowly. And there's some petition against that. I don't know. Namor has to be really different from Aquaman, and they can make him different. Which is funny because it's kind of DC getting back at Marvel, because Namor came before Aquaman, but the Justice League came before the Avengers, and there's people out there who actually think the Avengers came first. I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there who thinks Marvel did a lot of things first, which they didn't, but Namor was first. They can make him different. I don't think they'll have him flying around in his Speedos, but I like his black costume. I think they should use his black costume. My guess is they cast an Asian as Namor. Because we're all in identity politics now, and it'd probably work. How come Brie preaches diversity and equality, but have no problem using fake stage names because their real names won't be accepted? Seems to conflict with what they preach. Everything they do down there is conflicts to what they preach, because It's all about image and opportunism down there. And, there is a price to be paid for their fame. A lot of compromises have to be made, even to the biggest stars. There's Hollywood is all about power. Harvey Weinstein proved that to be the case. And it's not, I mean, just because he's gone, they haven't changed that. It was a Tom Hanks big Shazam trailer. It was really good. I'll check it out after the live stream, of course. What effect do you think the Fox Disney deal will have on opportunities like the Orville, the X-Files, and Buffy reboots? Well, not the Orville, but reboots all around. That's what Disney does. Reboots all around. I'm a fan of Buffy. Always been a fan of Buffy. A few years, they have. I already read that one. But Namor will be a black Chinese woman, probably. The Gifted series finale set up Days of Future Past. Is Gifted getting a? I don't watch The Gifted anymore. It just got miserable. I couldn't. It turned into a big mess. Yeah, it's way too woke and way too network and not. Yeah, it just got silly. Worst comic I read, Squirrel Girl. I got this big stack of Doctor Who trades for $40. Where'd it go? Oh, I think I put it away. And the guy slipped in a Squirrel Girl trade, so I'm like, I read some of it, and it's the dumbest comic book I've ever read. And I used to like Squirrel Girl before, SJW Marvel happened, when she was a joke. Part of the Great Lakes Avengers. I mean, and I can also say probably the last 5 or 6 Marvel comics I've read, that they're terrible. The art is terrible. The writing is terrible. There's tons of mistakes. And listen, if a high school dropout is getting your grammatical errors, then you're screwed. You're screwed. You're in a bad place. Doctor Who is not canceled. But I'm going to talk about, what happened is the media set up an old actress from the show to kind of justify Doctor Who's existence, and in a thinly veiled message told any fan who has a problem with it to just let it go. And I'll read that to you later. Because reading between the lines is what we do here. Idris Elba as Namor. Yes, I was waiting for that. Yes. I'm an old school gamer and TV watcher. What they did to Star Trek is beyond criminal. It is beyond criminal. Elminster Overwatch. Am I saying that? Elminster Overwatch. How's that sound? And yeah, we can get right to that. We can get right to what the CBS article. Oh man, I just had it. There we go. All right, this backs up a lot of what my insider has told me about Star Trek. And we can talk about whatever you want. So if you guys want to continue talking about comics, I can flip-flop between subjects no matter what. This is going to be a very loose live stream. So I usually plan them a little better, but I wasn't even honestly sure this one was going to happen today. I was thinking back. I've been doing the Nooners now for over a year, and I've only missed 3. So I can't miss one. Okay. Now we have heard, Star Trek Discovery, it was picked up for a season 3. The Picard series is casting. CBS All Access came out a couple of months ago saying they had 8 million subscribers. And it turns out that wasn't really true. Combined with Showtime, they have 8 million subscribers, but they are actually at 4 million subscribers. Now, Showtime and CBS All Access, while they might say they are the same thing, they are not. They are clearly not. So CBS All Access has 4 million subscribers, or do they? I have to pull up here. I'm going to pull up what my insider told me, and then I'll read this article. Now, the insider told me this before this article came out. So anybody who doubts this insider, the reason we stick with him is because, oh, come on, don't do this to me, Chrome, you suck. Because he's right most of the time. Star Trek's expanding future on television is tied explicably to CBS All Access, the streaming service from CBS. So it is important to keep up with what the company has to say about the future of the platform. And some clues came clear this week at the Deutsche Bank 2019 Media and Entertainment Telecom Conference, where CBS president and acting CEO Joseph Anello discussed the plans for All Access both in the US and overseas. Overseas is the most important thing here. There is also some more corporate news that can impact Star Trek's future. Rolling out more content keeps subscribers happy. Now, within this, I'm not going to read this whole damn thing. He basically says we're going to roll out more Star Trek episodes to keep people engaged. Now, that certainly makes sense here on YouTube. We when you're involved in the algorithm, you have to put out videos daily. I don't. I really wish I could. I'll eventually get there. But you have to put out videos daily to keep people engaged and to keep growth going. And they can't have big, long periods of time with no Star Trek because people dip out. So I'm going to cut to the chase on this one. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the Picard series. The most important part is my insider told me a long time ago that the Picard series is not going to be on Netflix. And you have to ask yourself, why? I thought everything was great. Netflix paid for part of season 1 of Star Trek Discovery, and it's a big old hit. On season 2 is a big old hit. That's what we heard. And this big old hit, got him a season 3. And it has nothing to do with the streaming wars, nothing at all. So the Picard, and it has nothing to do with the Picard series. Well, these things are all tied together. All right. And they're all, there's a battle going on within CBS to rush out production so they don't get canceled. Now, I don't think for 1 minute the Picard series is going to come out. This is going to end up being their flagship. This will be the big deal. They had to back up a Brinks truck full of money to get Patrick Stewart to come on. They capitulated to him to shoot in LA instead of Canada, which cost them a lot more money. And they needed an influx of cash. And it looks like they got one, and whatever. This is part of the streaming wars. They're still in the early stages. They're going to pull out all the stops to succeed, to be a big player in this. Because, CBS is used to being a big player. They're one of the big networks. But as times change, and we're clearly seeing times change, I put up the example, or I didn't tweet this out. I was going to tweet it out. American Gods. American Gods took 2 years off. American Gods did great when it was out. It got about 1 million viewers on a pay network. And twice that digitally. It had a lot of people watching it for season 1. It took 2 years off and it lost half its audience. And it's still good. It's still as good as season 1 was, but you take 2 years off, you lose half your audience. Plus, you're going to lose a large portion of your audience being behind a paywall. There's too many damn paywalls now. So they're late in the game, and everything is riding on this Picard series. It's not riding on Star Trek Discovery anymore. So Star Trek Discovery was the Star Trek show coming to CBS All Access at the end of the year. Lanalio referenced is one starring Patrick Stewart, returning to his next generation role as Jean-Luc Picard. It is still an open question as to where the new Picard show will be seen outside of the United States. The deal with Netflix to distribute Star Trek Discovery outside the US and Canada was announced early on in development of the process of the show, is actually promoted as a Netflix original to those markets. As for the Picard series, it is going into production next month, and the recent official press statements note the show will air exclusively on CBS All Access in the United States and will be distributed concurrently internationally by CBS Studios International. which means CBS has to put up the money, and they're going to put it on, I guess, regular TV over there in Europe and other places. Lanalio did not specifically discuss plans for the Picard series, but did discuss how they have started expanding All Access around the world. Now, maybe they don't need Netflix anymore. There is a talk of the SVOD platforms, media industry jargon for streaming providers like Netflix, that would pay high license fees for the shows. And they really rely on these, by the way, but Netflix needs these less and less. Clearly, they're smart and must be building a business model on our content as well. So when we looked at what we thought they don't, why don't we try that? Or why don't we try that? We started with Canada, which is close enough to the United States for it not to be a huge bet. And then we made a little acquisition in Australia, and we launched our service there. So they're going to try to do their own stuff. So they obviously got an influx of cash. But it not being on Netflix, I think, is a big deal. Also, I think Netflix is probably going to work with these companies less and less because they are competitors. Why would you work with competitors? You might see that change when the streaming wars are over and they're going to have to work with Netflix. I mean, Netflix is the big daddy in the room, not CBS. We also have the Viacom merger coming, which is going to change everything. But here's the key phrase I want to get here. We're talking about... here, let me find it. Give me just a second. All right, that is it. That's what I wanted to find. So remember, they said they had 4 million subscribers. Roll out more content to keep subscribers happy. Last month, CBS reported they hit their goal of 8 million subscribers early, split evenly between CBS All Access and Showtime, and moved up their long-term goal of 25 million subscribers combined to 2022. When the article originally came out, there was no mention of Showtime, by the way. That was interesting. When asked why they are so confident, Lanello said that they have learned from their first few years running the streaming services, the new original content is the key for both new customers and keeping customers interested. Interesting. The old content that's been around forever that everybody's seen already and got a bunch of Blu-rays and DVDs of, isn't being watched that much. Oh, well, as well as bringing back those who canceled, what CBS refers to as pausing. The CEO said, when they come back is when we launch new original content. We want to limit or eliminate all of the pauses. So I guess that's how they're selling it to their shareholders, that when people cancel or they don't re-up their trial period, it's called pausing. So yeah, okay. So when I leave this mortal coil, I'm just pausing. I'm not dying. We saw that as we are aiding more and more originals, we saw the subscriptions going up and the churn coming down. They gave us the confidence to say, hey, what was the number one reason you paused for your subscription? And again, it was, we want more of this. We want more of this. We want more content like this. Who are you asking? Oh, man. So, yeah, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. So, and I can't get my message. You stupid Chrome, you suck. Let me get this on my phone real quick. Be right back in the chat there, folks. Okay. Daxamite, $1.99. Oh, I've already read. Thank you again for the super chat. Josh and Rebecca Moname, $5. Do you think that Captain Marvel would have gotten her powers from the Tesseract? She'll take the place of Adam Warlock in the Infinity War and get the gauntlet. Yeah, I think that's a possibility. That would be bad. I don't even want to think about that. I don't. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, 2 pounds. Exozone disappointment. No mention of prostate juice. Oh, man, we failed. We totally failed. Well, there's always next week because we're going to go weekly with it, my friend. We're going weekly with the Exozone. Hey, I want to ask you guys, I know I'm jumping all over topics here, but European viewers, would you want us to do a daytime Exozone for us so we can do a nighttime Exozone for you, like during the week? Let me know if you want that. Yeah. Okay. I'm looking on my phone here, folks. Back to me. Because for some reason my messenger isn't working. Okay, here we go. Yes, don't laugh. Netflix has flipped. They now are saying they're going to do everything they can to keep Kurtzman and company and STD a flop and burn. CBS done. They have lost all the respect of their peers. Shareholders don't believe the lies anymore. And you just saw in that article their use of if that sounds like hyperbole to you, they called canceling customers pausing customers. Corporate speak. I mean, God bless it, but it's corporate speak. There is a meeting of shareholders in May. We could see some action then. They are rushing the Picard production. And also, so Star Trek Discovery is not being, it's dropping in viewers quite a bit. And they weren't expecting this. And I think they probably fully expected the Spock thing to energize people. And honestly, they almost had a decent episode. You certainly have more Anson Mount and Ethan Peck. While the actual writing that he's been given sucks, he's okay. But man, he keeps crying and being angry and smashing things and being resentful. It's very much like the Spock from the JJ movies. It's like they don't know how to write Spock. I would like to see Ethan Peck take a crack at it, even though he doesn't look anything like him. I don't know, a seasoned Star Trek writer writing this show. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't care beyond season 3. It's clear that they're moving past Star Trek Discovery and their focus is the Picard series. And when they see that, listen, they're going to get a lot of people watching that. That's going to jump their subscriber count. That's going to, maybe they should have led with that. I don't know. But the Picard series is definitely going to bring a lot of people in. And honestly, I'll be honest with you. The concept sounds cool. I love the band of rogues on a ship, Farscape, love Farscape, the Expanse, Firefly. I love that format. Problem is Akiva Goldsman is still in charge. Now, if he is not in charge anymore and they bring in new writers, then, okay, now we can talk. Salty Spock is fun when he's giving his sister we've never heard of dressing down. Jibba Jabba, FPV. I love it when he does that. I freaking love it. I cheer. By the way, inspired by my friend, the Anti-Trekker, I'm going to start doing Star Trek Discovery watch parties on Patreon. Now, I don't flip out as much as he does, but because I don't want to break anything in my room. I kind of like my stuff. He got a punching bag, which is pretty funny. It's so funny. But they won't be 3 hours long either. It'll be like running commentary. Spock needs to F off. He does. Hey, Gary, sent email about you coming on a Traveler TARDIS show, hoping not in your spam. My email is hangingwithshow.com, just in case. Let me write that down. You know what? I spaced it, man. That's my bad. Hang on. I brought my live stream notebook with me. So yes, we will. You want to try? I'm going to be actually traveling soon. So let's try to get it done before I go. Maybe in the next week. My schedule is pretty open. I mean, the thing that really takes up the most time is recording videos of late. Some come easy and some don't, man. CBS duped Netflix with short treks, and Netflix said F you. CBS also blackened their eye with Netflix because of Anas Abdeen lawsuit. That's what I was getting to. Thank you, Brian Smart. The Anas Abdeen lawsuit has really pissed off Netflix. And do I know this for a fact? No, but I think it's pretty easy to guess that their name being lumped on to something that they really weren't involved with, although they did go ahead and put a Netflix original. And that's kind of part of the problem. When you buy somebody else's stuff and you call it your stuff, you are now associated with that stuff. And the Anas Abdeen lawsuit is, well, it hasn't been dismissed yet. And you would think if it was a frivolous lawsuit, it would have been dismissed. Now, I freely admit Anas has a huge uphill battle because the copyright laws were written by, well, we'll just say were written by people who might have been financed by, say, the entertainment industry. It's just a guess. You know, I'm guessing. It's a good guess. And they probably favor the entertainment industry. They should be strong. I mean, you can't just have everybody going, I made up that first. But just as a human being on the earth with a pair of really horrible eyes that don't see very well, it really looks like they ripped off Anas Abdeen. It just, in my opinion, it really looks like that. Too many coincidences. Loquacious Primate, STD will use the Scant uniforms, so it should be okay. Yeah, I heard about that. Man, wow. They'll probably have a man wearing it though. They'll probably have a man wearing it. Shills. They're all shills. They're all freaking shills. Fox is in charge of the hen house. Fox is in charge of the hen house when you're trying to say about copyright lawmakers. Yes. The Fox is in charge of the hen house. The copyright laws favor the entertainment companies because I'm sure lawmakers need money to run for office, and who has a lot of it? Well, not people who get ripped off by Hollywood. They don't, I mean, it's a pastime in Hollywood. It happens all the time. How weird is it that I know two people that this has happened to on a major level? On a major level. I'll tell the story again, although I'm probably not supposed to. But I'm a blabber. Okay, real quick. Todd Frazzy, $10. Thanks for putting in the time, man. You are my nerd rage catharsis drip. Yes, nerd rage. I'm not even that. I mean, like, I'm pretty relaxed. So, you guys want to hear a story? It's story time. Story time with Nerdrotic. I won't use any names. But there is a movie that starred Dennis Quaid called Frequency. And I did okay in the theaters, but a lot of people are aware of it. A lot of people have seen it. It's about a girl who gets in touch with her dead dad over a radio. I'm forgetting the name on it because have a live stream brain fart right now. Ham radio, something like that. And she's able to contact her dad. Well, I know the guy who wrote the original script for that. He is actually one of my closest friends. And he'd probably be really mad at me for telling this story, but I love you, man. So he wrote the script, pitched it, and they said, it's pretty good, but we'll consider it later. And it just got forgotten about. And, you know, my friend went on about his life until he gets a phone call one day. He gets a phone call one day from one of the people he was in that meeting with, who is a big time somebody in Hollywood. Again, I'm not giving out any names here. And this big time somebody in Hollywood goes, hey, so-and-so, somebody just turned in a script and I'm pretty sure it's yours. And that's what happened. So the movie gets made, person gets credit, and the beat goes on. Now, there was court cases, things happened, things got worked out, and NDAs were out there, and that's fine, and it's been years, and that's the way it goes. And it happens all the time. There was a TV series made on it, for Christ's sake. Yeah, creators get screwed all the time. That's why it's very good to have representation. It's very good to have good representation. It's very good to understand copyright laws as much as you can. Artists tend, listen, I speak, I'll use I statements here. We artists tend to not look at the fine details of stuff all the time. That's why like when I bought my house, I forced myself to read the entire contract. God, it was torture, but I did it. and I'm glad I did. And any contract I've ever signed, I read every single word of it, because you can get screwed all the time. So it happens all the time. I think Anas, do I think Anas will really win? I honestly don't know. I'm gonna I want him to so badly. I like him as a person. He's a really good person. And he's tough as nails. But it's hard. I mean, he's taking care of his parents. He's not necessarily in our time zone. And it's a real uphill battle. I think it would be something if he won. I think that would send a real message. But I don't think he will. I just honestly don't. I want him to, and it kills me to say that. But CBS is they don't lose stuff like this. They have armies and armies and armies of lawyers. So my thing is, if he loses, I am not going to ever shut up about it. Ever. I am going to, every time Star Trek Discovery gets brought up, once a month, I will poke at them until the end of time, until that show is off the air. I'm like, it's kind of stolen, in my opinion. And it's public perception. That's how we can get. I don't know if there's been a settlement deal, but I know the last thing Anas told me, and I'm allowed to say this, is he's not going to settle. I mean, this really. That's why I respect Anas. Armchair Warlord. Hail Gary, check out my book, The Maiden's War, on Indiegogo. I got the link. It needs some love. When pop culture sucks, we make our own. Help me send a message. Armchair Warlord, I will absolutely, if the mods could find that link and please put it in the description again. Yes, I fully support independent work. And when things suck, do it yourself. That's part of, Generation X has been pretty much an overall disappointment to me, my generation. The whole thing, I don't know, I'll say it from my personal experience. We were supposed to be kind of the anti-hippies, and a bunch of us turned into a bunch of hippies. It's kind of disappointing, but oh well. When I see a bunch of old punk rockers who are basically hippies now, it's like, the whole movement was against the hippie movement. It was a fashion movement mostly, but it was, we're not supposed to be hippies, but a lot of them turned into them. That's fine, whatever. And I mean, no real hate towards hippie. My mom was a total hippie, but yeah, we were the generation, like the latchkey kid generation. We were the first generation to do worse than the previous. That was our big claim to fame, is we were the first generation to digress, us latchkey kids. And, but I liked it because it taught, we were also kind of known as the do-it-yourself generation. And that really taught me a lot. All that time alone I spent, I was industrious with it, sometimes with some very bad stuff and sometimes with some good. But yeah, but there are many who I respect, but there's many I'm just a little disappointed in. Did I talk Doomcack and Doomcack? Hey, Doomcack, get over here, buddy. Doomcock into doing an ASMR podcast. I think that would be hilarious, but he's got to have his voice modulator going. And he's got to have his little brush, like here, some ASMR here. I'll use my hello, welcome to the Nerdrotic channel. That is some weird shit. That I didn't know much about it. I went to VidCon last year because I thought it would actually teach me about YouTube. It taught me a little, but it ended up, I don't know. I kind of went by myself too, so it was kind of boring. And yeah, I saw an ASMR girl up there. She had like 1 million subscribers, and it just makes you wonder. You're like, God, my channel's growing, and then somebody whispers into a microphone and gets 1 million subscribers. I'm obviously doing something wrong. I don't know if I can, 1 million subscribers is a lot. Doomcack, that's right. Doomcake. But yes, I think that would be hilarious if he did that. If he did a parody of that, that would be effing hilarious. Where did I see? Yeah, let's go look at the Scant uniforms. Star Trek Discovery. the thing is, I mean, I know I say it over and over again, but it's a big deal. I mean, most shows trend for like a minute on Twitter. Like even Winona Earp, which we're going to talk about. I know the actual show I don't give a crap about, but it's an indicator what's happening to the comic industry, what's happening to IDW, and Get Woke, Go Broke. So it's very important to talk about that. Don't let me forget about that. Star Trek bringing back scant Starfleet uniforms. Of course, they show a picture of, I don't know why. Why are they doing this? Longtime fans of Star Trek remember Starfleet's scant uniform. The uniform variant was a unisex dress worn by men and women during the era of Star Trek The Next Generation. The scant was rarely seen then and hasn't been revived since. Star Trek Discovery's iteration of the Starfleet uniform is unisex in another way. The naval design puts male and female characters both in pants. Earlier this season, Commander Non of the USS Enterprise debuted it in a version of the classic Star Trek Starfleet uniform with the skirt, but she was wearing like pants under it, right? She's since transitioned to a variant of the USS Discovery uniform and also has a skirt. Could the scant return? According to Star Trek Discovery costume designer Phillips, yes, the scant will appear before the end of Discovery's second season. Here's what we're told. The Daily Dot. I thought, didn't I see Burnham wearing a version of it too? Yeah. I don't think that's Star Trek. Have we noticed that, I talked about this in my last breakdown. There's been no Klingons. There's going to be no Harry Mudd. What the hell happened to Tig Notaro? They wrote article after article. Tig Notaro, man, she came on and you slay, girl. She was great in Star Trek Discovery for the 10 minutes she was in it. And then number one, Rebecca Romijn, the character I actually wanted to see. She ate a cheeseburger. And the thing is, these things by themselves, like I say all the time, are no big deal. But CBS comicbook.com does article after article after article. And it's just, oh my God, the commercialism within the shill media is getting to epic proportions. God, if I Google it right now, the Captain Marvel defeated the trolls thing, there's still articles being written all the time about we beat down the YouTubers. I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't, because none of us were trying to kill Captain Marvel. The Alita challenge thing, whatever. I'm sure we gave it a few extra bucks. It doesn't change the fact that Alita is clearly a better film than Captain Marvel. And if Captain Marvel makes more money, crappy things make money all the time. So, but the fact that the Access shill media has us stuck in their head so much that they need to write article after article about angry YouTubers. Certainly I'm sure we come off as angry to some people, but none of us really are. Sorry to expose everybody on that, but we're actually having fun. Lots of fun. But go ahead. Oh my God. Am I wrong, or does the scant sound like an alien empire? Will the scant return? I don't know. It kind of does. It kind of sounds like, hey, Fred, I agree. At least number one isn't a vegan. What were they talking about? What show were they talking about where they had, it was Star Trek Discovery. The entire cast is indeed vegan, and when they make the food, they have to make a vegan version of it. So that might not have been a real cheeseburger. I don't know. Rebecca Romijn, though, I love Rebecca Romijn. I do. And God damn it, I wish she'd get back together with John Stamos. They were such a good couple. Very handsome couple. I was rooting for those two. I really was. I wonder what John did, or was it Rebecca? Maybe Rebecca did something. We always assume it's the dude. Steve Kane, the showrunner for The Last Ship, will be the showrunner for Halo TV series on Showtime. I'll probably watch that, and I'll know more about Halo from the TV show than the video game because I know nothing about the video game. Is The Last Ship good? I heard it's okay. American Gods will have another showrunner. They're going to have their third showrunner. So what happened to American Gods is it got renewed for season 3, even though it's lost half its audience. 500,000 people watched the premiere episode. That is down from over 1.5 million. So they've lost over half their audience. Now, if you consolidate that out with digital, they probably got 1 million viewers. But Amazon Daddy Bezos saved it because Neil Gaiman has an exclusive. And Nerdstradamus predicted that in my video. I was so happy to see it. I'm like, I bet you American Gods is going to get canceled from Stars and go over to Amazon Prime. And poof, it did. Here's the problem, though. I don't know how long, Amazon Prime still needs people to watch. And American Gods took a huge dip. That's also a sign of generally TV ratings overall are going way down, way down. So you're going to see in the next couple of years, like it's going to be a bloodbath. And I don't know if there'll be a return. I don't know how much genre TV is going to be around because it's really expensive on the network stuff. And even on I don't know how long Stars can be around. I mean, Stars is just dying. Nobody's watching it anymore. I don't know what's going on. So Winona Earp got picked up for season 4 and 5. Now, the reason I really have a bee in my bonnet about this TV show is because the People's Choice Awards, it gave the best sci-fi show to Winona Earp over The Expanse, when clearly more people like The Expanse. The Expanse had a huge campaign running. Winona Earp didn't. It didn't have a campaign running, but it somehow won. I'm sure it had nothing to do with the female lead. And to insinuate that would make me an ist and an obe, an ista-obe, an obist. But that's why it won. And who cares? It's a dumb award show. But I wanted The Expanse to win that because The Expanse should win all the awards, but who gives a shit? It won the Nerdrotic Rory Awards. That's all it should care about as best TV show of 2018. So Winona Earp gets picked up for season 4 or 5, even though it had worse ratings than Dark Matter and The Expanse. Both shows were canceled from Sci-Fi. But IDW really needs this. It's an IDW property. IDW is the 4th largest comic book publisher in the comic book industry. See how this is all connected? So they Sci-Fi renewed Winona Earp, and it comes out today or a couple days ago that they have no funding for the series. So they renewed it, but they don't know who's going to pay for it. It's the dumbest thing I've ever read. And so it turns out that Sci-Fi, I'm just going to cut to the chase. Sci-Fi doesn't want to look like they're canceling a show with a female lead. Period. So they renewed it, because it's no skin off their back. Hey, we renewed the show, but they didn't have the money. Now, it turns out they don't have the money. They might have renewed it knowing they would have the money, but then we find out that IDW and that Umbrella guy has chronicled their demise great, just with perfection. So go check out his channel, look up his IDW videos, and you can see the one thing why we bring up IDW is it's publicly traded, and we can, and that Umbrella guy can look at their quarterly reports, and you can just see the demise of the comic book industry within IDW. It is an indicator. So IDW was living off their properties, their TV properties, supposedly Lock and Key, which is honestly one of their best properties and a damn good comic book, is going to get made by Hulu. But is it now? Because Hulu, Disney, maybe, I don't know. And it turns out Winona Earp, which won these awards and has, like 300,000 people watching it, got renewed. For what reason? I don't know. But this is part of Get Woke, Go Broke. I mean, just cancel the damn series. But they can't. Now, this is all my speculation, but, I can do that. I'm free to do that. And I think it's hilarious. I think it's fucking hilarious. I'm trying to find the article here. Has anybody heard that before? A TV series getting picked up but there's no money. Oh, and watching Hollywood do this is fucking entertaining, man. It is entertaining. By the way, folks, quick aside, Exozone got demonetized last night and is still demonetized. YouTube. You've been so nice to me. Just when I said, YouTube rarely demonetizes me, they demonetized us. So I think it's clear that they're trying to get rid of the UFO stuff. Secure Team put out a video stating as much, and like that would suck. I mean, because honestly, that was one of the main reasons I came to YouTube a long time ago, was to look at UFO videos. Because believe it or not, I'm not into cat videos. Let's get to this. Winona Earp. I tried watching the show. I mean, it's not terrible. It's just typical. It's super typical. It is, what did Dave Cullen call it? A masculine female role. God, I heard that in a video today. I'm like, man, why didn't I come up with that one? Dave Cullen's great. So it's a masculine female role. That's what Captain Marvel is. It is a woman playing a male role. Now, sometimes this can work. Absolutely. Lenny in Legion was written specifically for a male in his 50s, played by the brilliant Aubrey Plaza, one of a Hollywood treasure, and she does it great. Okay, here we go. This is hilarious. I don't know how old this article is. It just caught my eye today, and they could have resolved this, and I have no idea because, listen, I only got so much time in the day. Nope, this is from March 15th. Okay, 3 days ago. Winona Earp, which beat The Expanse and remains on Sci-Fi despite having lower ratings than Dark Matter and The Expanse, but it's got nothing to do with the female lead. There's your ASMR. Winona Earp, season 4 funding not available despite Sci-Fi renewal. What's going on with Winona Earp? According to God, I hate it when that happens. According to the Hollywood Reporter, funding is not available for a 4th season of the Sci-Fi TV show despite a renewal and plans for a 5th season. The horror western centers on lawman Wyatt Earp's demon-fighting great-great-granddaughter who inherited his abilities, but not his penis, and all of his legendary gun Oh, I sit corrected. The cast includes Melanie Shamir Anderson, Tim Rosen, and Dominique Provost Chalky. I'm terrible at pronouncing last names. Although Sci-Fi has already renewed Winona Earp, it's unclear if the series will ever produce a 4th season. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the show producer IDW Entertainment does not have enough funding to justify another season, let alone 2 more seasons of Winona Earp. So, is the show canceled? Yes. It's uncertain as of this reporting if and when a 4th season of Winona Earp will air. Adam Wyden, the hedge fund founder involved with IDW, told the Hollywood Reporter that the production company is trying to find a way to come up with the money. You're a hedge fund manager. Can't you come up with your own? But the show's status is up in the air right now. Wyden says if a streaming service like Netflix or Hulu, which certainly could happen, can buy the international rights to Winona Earp, that should help cover the costs of season 4. How does this link to Star Trek Discovery and CBS All Access? It's all connected, man. Get your tinfoil hats out, folks. The streaming wars, which the first time I've heard that phrase was Midnight's Edge. So TM Midnight's Edge and Tom, by the way, thanks for shouting me out in your video. I love you guys. Just slightly homo, but not full. Coined the streaming wars. The streaming wars, I have always said, will be over before they begin. It is clear that Netflix and Hulu and Amazon are going to crush their competition. And they're just trying to, the thing is, they're trying to work with the big networks because eventually they're going to have to partner up. And that's what's going to happen is the international rights plays into everything. And CBS not having Netflix for the Picard series. I don't care if they come out, hey, we could do it ourselves. Yeah, but why would you if you didn't have to? So and CBS going international on their own is all you need to know. That's all I need to know, that my insiders are correct, that Netflix is 1000% pissed off at CBS. And this could end Star Trek. Not saying it's going to, or it might make it very short lived. Plus, there's the Viacom merger. What's going on here with Winona Earp is it's really not even about Winona Earp. I mean, yeah, I'm mad at the show because it went over the Expanse. Who cares? And it might get picked up by a streaming service, and it will still get watched by 200 to 300,000 people worldwide. Big deal. I think it's more important, if we swing it around to the comic book industry, how this is affecting, how this current trend in Hollywood is affecting all of entertainment, and it is a downward spiral. We circle this back to the MCU. They can burn through their goodwill so fast that the same thing will happen. And alls we're asking is, try to make entertainment entertaining again. Can we just get that? I have nothing personally against Winona Earp, the show. I know little about the comic. I know IDW. I didn't know they had this much of their own stuff. I always kind of saw them as a company that licensed a lot of stuff. I never liked IDW, to be honest with you. And they're from San Diego. I should like them. I like their storytelling, but honestly, after they got rid of Ben Templesmith and Steve Niles, which is what they made the company out, 30 Days a Night was great. Ben Templesmith, it's been a long time since I talked to him, but I would have considered him somewhat of a friend at the time. It's been many years since I've talked to him, though. Is a great artist, but their art sucks. Their art's always sucked. I collected their Angel comic. The story was good. But their art has always sucked, and their comics were always too pricey. I didn't like the big, thick paper. I'm surprised they lasted this long. It looks like they're being propped up, but IDW might be the first company to fall in the comic industry. And once that happens, dominoes, man. Dominoes. Collins P. Smith, I'm sorry about the time difference. Where are you? I'm sorry you got to go. Let's get to the super chats there, and I'll get to the chat. Price is Right review $5. Sup, bro? I don't know if you seen it by now, but that Star Wars girl Jimmy Kimmel rant video is blown up all over Facebook. The Sci-Fi Wyatt Earp show, hell no. I have seen her rant, and it's the reason it blew up over Facebook is because she was attacked, and it's part of the I Stand With Anna thing. Yeah, no, I'm glad it's blowing up. That really helps videos, by the way, if you share them on Facebook. Although Facebook is a dying. Dave's in the chat now. God damn it, I always miss that. Are you still there, Dave? Dave. Is Dave in the chat? Oh, there he is. Dave Cullen is in the chat, everybody. What's up, you ginge? Dude, the masculine... the female, tell me how you said that exactly, because that was brilliant. Just rewatched most of Voyager. Such a solid show by comparison to a lot of modern sci-fi these days. Janeway rocks. I really do need to rewatch it with 2019 eyes. I think it would be enlightening. I always liked Voyager. I always thought Voyager had the best premiere of all the Star Trek shows, well, except for the original series. Yes, that's a good Dave Coleman. By the way, thanks for being here, Dave. What an honor, and thanks for all the shout outs. You're brilliant. You're brilliant. And I watched 3 of your videos this morning when I was at the gym. It's enlightening, especially with God, I don't get into the political stuff, but that's where mainly I get my information from, is Computing Forever. So if you haven't subscribed to Dave Cullen, the Dave Cullen Show and Computing Forever, if my wonderful mods could put the links in both of them. And look who else is here. That Star Wars girl. Man, there's better YouTubers in my chat than you're actually watching right now. That is brilliant. That Star Wars girl, meet Dave Cullen if you haven't met before. You're both brilliant YouTubers. Dave Cullen, I'm sure you've seen that Star Wars girl. She's blowing up, and apparently your video is blowing up all over Facebook because of that lovely message you got By the way, hashtag I stand with Anna. From that POS. Yeah. Dave Cullen does rock, and he is a credit to YouTube. And he really, I really love the free speech stuff. I really do. I would love to talk to you someday about that privately, whatever. I would love to just pick your brain on Article 13. Because I only have like basic knowledge of it. And I blame my ADHD. I start reading the long articles and I just, I mean, they need to mix in a wizard or a bad drug deal or something to that story to keep me interested. I sit with Anna too. I do. Yes. Yes, she is a strong female. And, even though I hate that term so much. Definitely. Oh, awesome. I will contact you via email, and my email is gary@nerdrotic.com. But I know you're not on Twitter. I have a Gab account. I'll go on my Gab account. Are you still there? Maybe I can DM you through that. Article 13. That's going to be fun for us in the Netherlands. Is dead against it. Well, good for you. Good for you. I know there's a vote coming up soon, right? I think they said end of March. I'm going to be in Europe at the end of March, by the way. I'll be kind of close to you guys. I'll be in Sicily. Soyboard Panboy, hail to you, my friend. Anna freaking rocks, by the way. She does great live streams. I am honored to have two great YouTubers in the chat right now. Subscribe to both, please. Thank you, Cotton Candy Beard, Gary, and Douglas Nelson. Computing forever is an oasis in the current wasteland of insanity. He truly is. And Douglas Nelson is the Photoshop genius who puts together those fun little I loved your last one, man. I loved the Exozone one. I mean, I will use it the next Exozone, by the way. I apologize for not using that as a thumbnail. Man, you guys are awesome. David Kenny, $5. If people really want to hit Disney, contact your congressman. Aren't there laws against monopoly? Yes, there are, but they're written again by, that favor the companies now, because the companies are the ones who fund the politicians who get in the office, and the circle jerk goes round and round. And it's right now it's YouTubers talking about it and people trying to talk about it on Twitter. They're shutting us down left and right. And that's just listen, as a high school dropout, technocracy, is that what we're in right now? Technocracy. Ian Moon, thank you for the $2 super chat, and thank you for the heads up that the great Dave Cullen is in my chat. Now I'm a little nervous now, but all out of bubblegum, $2. Winona Derp, never heard of it. And yeah, you never heard of it. Exactly. Yet it survives and dark matter does not. And the Expanse the Expanse turned out for the best. Anyway, again, we are solution based here. Star Trek Discovery fans, Doctor Who fans, watch the Expanse, watch season 3. Now, honestly, I don't know what's going to happen with season 4 in the current environment. Could it go full woke? Yes. But the thing is, it's kind of a political show that's always shown both sides. It's very Game of Thrones in that sense. Early Game of Thrones, good Game of Thrones. So at least watch seasons 1 through 3. They're brilliant. And you can watch my recaps as well. I have a Snowball Blue mic, good starter mic. Captain Spire, it's a very good starter mic. That's what I started with back in the day. It's actually great. You might want to get one of these. You can get that always helps. What sound editing software and cheap sound room could I make for voice recording and editing? God, why am I blanking on it right now? Give me a second. I'll pull it up. This is what happens when you get old. Audacity. So if you have a PC or a Mac, you start out with Audacity. That's what I've been using it for years and years. It's free and it's great and it's very easy to use. When you graduate to higher. Listen, I use basic stuff. I'm going to upgrade when I get back from Italy, but my camera cost $100 and it's a piece of crap. This costs the most. This is my Rode, USB one. I'm going to go to XLR eventually, but this costs $200. But yeah, that's it. And I use ScreenFlow for my videos, which is like $100 program. Although I know how to edit on Final Cut Pro and Premiere, and yeah. But start there. It's cheap, and have fun. Have fun. Everybody starting a channel is great. Even if it's like you and your friends getting together once a week or something and having a nerdy chat. That's how this started. It's lots of fun, believe me. And then it turns into an insane amount of work. I can't imagine how Dave Cullen does 2 channels. There must be 2. He must secretly have a twin, like Dan and Dave Cullen. One with only slightly darker red hair. I mean, like, yeah, this is my full-time job now. Well, that being and the salon takes up time. Takes 23rd century tech to make a vegan diet work. Jesse N. I am never going to try. Listen, I went through my vegetarian phase in my 20s. It lasted 3 months and I was angry for 3 months. All out of bubble gum. Thank you again for the super chat. Canadian $5 was retracted. That is YouTube, not me. I'm sorry. If you're going to get salty, just go ahead and get salty in the chat. It's fine. I am sorry that got retracted. If you are in the chat, tell me who you were. Remember to hit add Nerdrotic. Torchwood technically never got canceled to just not funding to justify another season with the BBC. You are correct, Tyler X 2F01, Canadian $5. I sit corrected. But I think, I honestly think Torchwood will come back. I think we will see Torchwood come back in the next 2 or 3 years. And listen, Chibi is better on that show than he's clearly not the right person for, so Doctor Who, real quick, Doctor Who, this is how, listen, I can't say I fully understand the Express UK. Okay. And I know it's a rag, but I love British tabloids. It's a sickness with me. I love them. Let's get to the Doctor Who news. But the reason this article was run, and I'm surprised it didn't get run with more outlets. Express.co.uk 4 hours ago, but this actually came out. That's another thing I don't understand about what Radio Times will do is they'll bump an article, the same article for like a year. So it looks like a new article. So if you Google Doctor Who news, you're going to see an article from 6 months ago that looks new. They do that all the time. Let's get over here to the Doctor Who news. And we're going to play read between the lines. Let's play a little read between the lines. For one, there's no Doctor Who season 12 spoilers. All right. There's none whatsoever. Other than they're talking about the shipping between Yasmin and the 13th Doctor, which honestly, please do it. Please, God, please, if you're out there, please have Yaz and the 13th Doctor have a relationship. Please. I want that as much as the all-female Avengers movies. I want this to happen so bad. Okay. Doctor Who season 12, Star reveals why they switched off Jodie Whittaker's episodes. Doctor Who saw Jodie Whittaker take on the role of the Time Lord last season and many fans were thrilled about her casting. However, one former star has revealed why they switched off during the first episode. Jodie certainly wowed many in her first episode of Doctor Who when she took over for Peter Capaldi as the Time Lord. However, one former Doctor Who star revealed they didn't want to watch the actress in the popular BBC series. I don't know how to pronounce her first name. I should. Anika Willis, who played the Doctor's companion, Polly. Oh, Polly. We love you. Between 1966 and 1967. By the way, she's on the press junket. We do need to talk about the new Doctor Who animated series that I can't wait to watch. She said she let go of the show. I have to be honest. I think Jodie is lovely. She's all right. But I watched most of the first one, and then I let go because it's not my Doctor Who, she explained. Speaking at the press screening for the Macra Terror, Anika, is it Aneka or Anika, I don't know, continues, it's new Doctor Who for the new world, and I'm not part of it, really, anymore, except if they ask me to be in it. Meanwhile, Fraser Hines, who starred as a companion, Jamie McCrimmon, said he loved Jodie's take on the Time Lord. And of course, yes, he's the reason Outlander's a show. I was worried that it was going to be a woman doctor, he explained. But then I saw it. I loved it the way she kept her. I love the way she kept her native accent. I know, such a stretch. It didn't become terribly BC. Oh no, it didn't become terribly PC at all. These are people who want to continue. You know what? I'm surprised, actually. I don't hear this more from other big Doctor Who actors. Now, it might be out there. I'm sure it is. And I know what their take will be publicly. It comes after Yasmin Khan star Mandeep Gill opened up about a potential romance with the Time Lord. This is not necessarily true. She was asked a question, and clearly she was open to it. It's not really going to happen, although I wish it would. The star told the Metro, "I'm aware of it now, but at the time I was filming, it was never a thing." Honestly, I didn't notice it once. Doctor Who season star. Okay, yeah. See, that's total bullshit, by the way. It just must be the chemistry between Jodie and myself. After it came out, interesting choice of words there. I was like, wow, I didn't even think that was a thing. I was like, I didn't think it was a thing until I saw what was it? Them mentioning it online. Mandeep added, "I think it was just a natural thing that could happen between friends who knows where it's going to go. Yasmin joined the Doctor in season 10 as a companion along with Ryan, blah, 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 blah. The trio followed the Time Lord to various planets and bored us to death with political propaganda and plans to do so in season 12 with the Double Down." Oh, I added that. I'm sorry. Stephen Fry is apparently going to be in it too. I did use him in a video though, because what he said about political correctness was dead on. Oh, and look to the left, everybody. You can see what I was looking at on eBay. Except the Return of the Jedi figure. Was I looking at that? I don't think I was looking at that. The Hellboy stuff I was looking at. The Better Call Saul I was looking at for sure. That's embarrassing. I was not looking at perfume though. So if you read between the lines on that article, they've done this a couple times now, where they've had somebody come out. They did, of course, Alex Kingston, and they have the stars coming out. Oh, I was concerned, but I'm not now. Or better yet, with Polly here, she said, "Well, I just had to dip out because I'm not part of this world anymore." And that's the message the old fans have been getting for quite some time with the new Doctor Who. It's like, why don't you guys just go? We don't need you anymore. And we certainly have. We're just not going to go quietly. Sorry. I've invested way too much time into the show. It's my favorite all-time show. I won't go quietly. Eventually, if you keep going down this road and we get like a season 13, which I can't see happening, but it might. I don't think we haven't heard a peep about Jodie being there past season 12, Chris Chibnall past season 12. Of course, we had the article from Starburst, which got ran by a lot of folks, and nobody denied it that they're leaving after season 12. We did hear Chris Chibnall come out and say, "Hey, filming the show is hard." I don't know how it can be. I mean, I hate Star Trek Discovery, but there's more production value in that, and they were able to get that out in a year. The Expanse, it's You know, it's only going to be off for like a couple of months over a year. So I don't know. I don't know, man. But you read between the lines on that shit and you see that they're just telling us to go away. I'm just not going to be quiet about it. I'm not going to give you any money. I mean, forget it. So we'll get back to the super chats and then back to the chats. Again, I mean, I don't expect Dave Cullen to hang around my super chats forever, but if he's still out there, I will contact you today. I would love to. Oh, there he is. I can't, Michael. I'm Irish. I live in Ireland. Hey, you know what? It was so funny. I did a 23andMe, or my wife did, for my birthday, and I found out I'm mostly Irish. I had no fucking idea. I thought it was German. So there you go. I'm a commercial I'm like this white, not that white. But all white people are the same. Doctor Who is dead. It is. That's what I was going to put in my as my title, but I'm actually going to do a separate video on that. So I didn't want to use the title, to be honest with you, Austin. Sometimes I think of really good titles. I'm like, oh, that'd be better for a video. We love the Irish. I think of that line from Blazing Saddles. Everybody except for the Irish. Oh, okay. We'll take them too. If you don't like San Fran, why don't you and the missus move to the Valley? The weather is great and you're close to Yosemite and San Fran. Darth Scipio, her salon is here. All of our clients are here. Once the lease runs out, we gone. I'm leaving California. Well, I don't know. I'm either going to go back home to San Diego or move to somewhere else. We'll see. But that's in the plans. Plus, I don't want my kid going to high school here in San Francisco. Just no. And if I'm going to put him in a private school, I couldn't afford to put him in a private school here, which costs that'd be basically like sending him to something in the UC system, University of California, for those international people, like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I'm not going to pay that. Let's get back to that super chat. Baptist 702, 1,000 yen. I love commentators like you. Do you think Marvel, MCU, and comics can rise to its former glory by removing SJW writers and hiring conservative or centrists? Make Iceman straight again. Hashtag make Iceman straight again. I think it can. You can even hire writers on the left. There's many people on the who are anti-SJW who are left. So we don't want to confuse that. And I know you aren't, Baptist 702. I think most people are centrist. We can get extreme sometimes with an individual issue, but the vast majority of people are in the middle. They might lean one way or another. What's the problem is that Hollywood currently has always been one way politically, but it has been taken over by a fringe element. And that fringe elephant, that elephant in the room, that fringe element asserts power with diversity and inclusivity. And the access media does that as well. So like I said in my last video, it's very reciprocal what's going on, and it's going to bury everything. Now, the only thing that's propping Hollywood up right now, because listen, people are still watching television. People are still consuming the same amount of entertainment, if not more than they were before, but they just have a lot more competition. And Silicon Valley is really what's propping up Hollywood right now. It is the true strength in all this. Now, they're super woke too. And that's probably what's causing a lot of this. And what can we do about it? We need to make more centrist kids. I don't know. I did the best job I could. My contribution to society and to the world was bringing a couple more people into it that are really good people. So much better than me. And that's all I can hope for. And you don't have to have kids, of course, but I would like to see that happen more in schools. Centrist. That's not extreme. It's actually really boring. But as always, called by one of my very good leftist friends, a fence sitter. I'm a big old fence sitter. Yep. Adam Wolf for $2. Hey, what about Dark Horse Comics? Are they dying? They're in trouble, but they're not dying. They had to move from Portland to Milwaukee to cut costs. They have always been one of the smartest companies out there in comics. So I don't think, the whole comic industry is in trouble, but Dark Horse will be one of the last ones to fall because it's run by very smart people and it's got Hellboy. So it's got my money. BPRD and Hellboy, take my money. And, I know the story's over, but I still buy the crap out of that stuff. Plus, they have Hellboy as a property. They have a lot of really good properties that they haven't even used yet. So Dark Horse has always been one of my favorite companies, and it has spawned from the great independent companies from the 80s. Pacific Comics. God, I remember Pacific Comics as a kid, which has its origins in San Diego. I remember being in a shop when people were talking about, the origins of Pacific Comics. It was a shop that the guys hated me being there, by the way, because my mom would leave me there and they hated that. But they eventually got used to me. I was pretty annoying, though, when I was there. I was always asking them questions. I was a very talkative kid. So they'd be trying to have a conversation about, what about this? And I like break in with like something completely off the topic. And it got to the point where they had me sweep the floors there. So that was technically my first job, sweeping the floors at a comic store. Matt Baldwin, $2. Twitter is dying so they can have the platform. They can have it. Yes, Matt, they can keep it. It is there so I can contact you and other YouTubers. I don't engage in any, dude, I got called all kinds of shit today. It was great. I love it when they call me an incel. It's so funny. Please do. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. And I will fulfill my promise of me and Mrs. Nerdrotic reading horrible tweets. Michael Henry for $2. Nerdrotic for president. No. You would hate me as president. I'd never be on time. My press conferences, well, it would just be about pop culture. Hashtag vote Nerdrotic. I am not smart enough to be president. Vote for, well, I mean, he can't, but like Dave Cullen or that Star Wars girl for president. She'd be better. She's younger. She can handle it. I'm too old for that shit, Michael. George Orwell, $10. Dave, Star Wars girl, Gary, thank you for speaking the truth. We all here sing songs to your greatness, their greatness for sure. Thank you, George Orwell. And I'm very sorry your book is coming true. Doomcock was right. The junior anti-sex league is happening. Friday Night Tights should be like the last one, where true heroes show up with their capes and ready to do battle with the cannon war. That is going to happen a lot more, Brian Smart. So the future of Friday Night Tights is this. Comics Division is a permanent co-host. He's probably going to find that out right now. He has offered his services. I am accepting them. And I want to have other YouTubers on all the time. They don't have to come on for the full 2-3 hours. They can come on but I'm open invitation. I still got to get Anti-Trekker on. I know I promised to get him on and then I got busy. So I don't know if he's mad at me or not, but yeah, sometimes I do that. Sometimes I dip out because I just get involved in my family stuff and I kind of don't look at my Twitter for a couple days. But Anti-Trekker, I want to get you on. I'd love to get Dave Cullen on. That Star Wars girl. Jeremy was awesome. Josiah Rises was awesome. That was a good time. Please go to last Friday night's Friday Night Tights. It was an all-timer, folks. Yeah, we had Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, Josiah Rises, Comics Division, who is a rising star. He's actually been a YouTuber for a long time, but he's got a day job. But I'm telling you, his work of late has been great. Comics Division should have thousands of subscribers. And when he has the time to put out more content, I'm sure he will. He's good. Trust me. And he and I, in YouTube years, I've only been seriously YouTubing for a couple of years, only seriously for a few months, but like I've been on for a couple of years. He let me on his streams a long time ago when neither of us had any subscribers. And yeah, he's good guy. And I'll try not to accidentally say his real name because I almost did that once. And the Feisty fan. Oh, I did say Feisty fan's name once too. Sorry. No questions at this time. Back to you, Nerdrotic, said Lloyd. Thanks, Lloyd. $5. What's up, man? It's good to see you. Peter Davison. Oh, I meant to send you a picture. I have my big dog laying on that koala, and it makes my big dog look tiny. Loving Time Lords for equals. Missy quote. Loving Time Lords is for equals. Missy quote, maybe. Misquote. Australian $5 from Peter Davison and Mrs. Davison. Love to you. Should I start a psychics channel? Explaining basic concepts, applying real world situations to a psychics. See, this is why I'm a high school dropout. Should I start a physics channel? Woo! Explaining basic concepts. Sorry, I'm cracking myself up now. Applying real world situations and then science fiction. Do you think anyone would watch? Loquacious Primate. Here's how people will watch that. I mean, I don't know. The reason people watch is content first, but then personality. The only thing, you try it, and don't just try it for a little while. Try it for, as a hobby for a good year and see what happens. Just do little videos, because you're going to have to work that out. That's a great concept. It's a great concept, but you need to refine it because, don't get offended, anybody, because the statement I'm about to make, I consider myself one of them. The dummies out there in the world, which I'm one, according to Red Letter Media, dumb guys with beards. Hello. You would have to explain physics in a way that really gets through to us in a clever way. And if you do it kind of funny, just what I know from your chats, Loquacious Primate, you're funny. You're definitely funny, and that's the key. So do it. Just do it. And and commit to it and see what happens. I think you could, for sure. You definitely are smart enough. You're good enough, and doggone it, people like you, Loquacious. Mike Brown, $2. I'd like to get my books to TV. Well, keep writing them. Write some scripts. What books do you have? Are these books I'm assuming they're books you're writing, Mike Brown? Thank you for the $2. Adam Wolford, $2. Anna, that Star Wars girl is the real princess of Star Wars. She is. She is a threat to everything out there. I mean, Dave Cullen gets him with his brain. All right. I honestly don't know what I have to offer to the table. Lots of action figures on my wall, but Anna is pure passion and a real fan and a uber threat because, well, obviously she's a girl, and they have no argument against her. That's why she gets vile threats. And listen, I'm not white knighting Anna. She doesn't need me to white knight for her. She might have to white knight for me sometime, actually, but I definitely don't need to white knight for Anna. Anna can defend herself and does it perfectly and plays it perfectly too. Anytime you get a message like that, I don't do that enough, man. Display it every single time. One decision I made, I'm glad I made it, but I probably would have done things differently, is when somebody made a video about me, I probably should have made a video smacking them back. Probably should have, but I decided to take the high road. But then I'm on YouTube. It's no high road. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. I just didn't want to give that person attention because they were clearly looking to ride that train. But now the Doctor Who thing has calmed down. Maybe I can do a video. You never know. I always reserve the right to change my mind. Let's get back to the other super chat. Oh my God. You can tell my voice is, I did that big long live stream last night. I don't display it every time, just when it's a special case of stupid. That's good. That's what I mean. When display, I mean, like if you did it every time, yeah, that'd be a bit much, because I get that too. Like you can't display it when it's like incel. Okay. But when it's like something that was said about you the other night, yes, definitely display it when it's the special case. That's what I mean. Dead Kennedys, one of my favorite all-time bands. I just saw somebody, yeah. Oh wow, thanks. You rock too, Dave. Thank you so much. Yeah, 915 watching and only two. Don't forget to lick that button, but make sure to clean it first, folks. Make sure to clean it. Yeah, that Star Wars girl that was played very smart and just really well done. Absolutely well done. There's a reason she is growing like crazy. She gets this stuff. All right. So, we can all learn from her. Just because we're older than somebody doesn't mean you can't learn from somebody. That is for sure. And it's inspiring. You know what I like best about, I will call it a loose affiliation of these new friends I've made, is there's no jealousy and lameness. That's my favorite part. We're all rooting for each other. We get on live streams and we try to get each other's subscribers up. And that's another thing I want to do on Friday Night Tights is definitely, help YouTubers out that plenty of people help me out. So I want to, pass that along. So, they're like Joe. I don't know if Just Plain Joe is out there and I got to get Bull's Trick on too. God, I love Bull's Trick. He's been on fire lately. What's up, High Desert 004? Terry Nation's family must be wondering how long they can still live off of Dalek money. Forever. Well, I mean, no, I can't. I'm going to dial that right back. It's not forever. They must be very worried. I would have charged triple to put that Victorian female Dalek. I can't believe they did a female Dalek. They did it. They actually did it. It didn't have a female voice, but it was on the back of a female and it had an 1800s dress and holy crap, they did it. So if I was, I would try to get as much money as possible because listen, the Big Finish stuff, I'm sure doesn't pay that well. I'm sure it's okay, but the Doctor Who money is real money. It's whose full head of hair? Oh man, my head of hair is going, dude. I mean, it's been going for years and years and years and years. So it's kind of stayed the same, but it probably is all the crystal meth I did in the 80s. But I still got some hair. Yeah, I'm pretty happy I still have hair on my head at 50, to be honest with you. But it's mostly on my face. But yeah, it's all good. Own it. Own it. It's dead sexy, man. Patrick Stewart, man. It's a sexy dude. Mrs. Nerdrotic loves Patrick Stewart. Bull's Trick is an angry motherfucker, but his anger is laser pointed, beautifully funny, perfect anger. I love him and I need to get him on the channel. Subscribe to Bull's Trick. And honestly, it was through the Doctor Who thing. I started seeing his videos recommended over videos I was watching, and I watched a couple. And then Dave, our good friend Dave here, shouted us out. And dude, I was getting thousands of subscribers a day from that. So I owe Dave. I definitely need to buy him like a pint or something. Can the Doctor Who regenerate into a gender neutral Dalek? This is what we need to see. Can the Doctor regenerate into a gender neutral Dalek? That's what we need to see. We do. I would actually rather see that. I'd rather see a tentacle Doctor running around. I'm 50. Yes, I am 50 years old. Well, 49. I'm going to be 50 in like 4 months. So I've just decided to own it now. Fear the plunger. We fear the plunger. We do. I got a Dalek right here. Is it one of my talking ones? I know I got a talking one somewhere. I got to hit the right button. No, batteries are dead. Batteries are dead. Sorry. This one's still going though.
You are an enemy of the Daleks. You must be destroyed.
I always have one around. Yeah, but I'm not a fan of that show at all. How old are you, Dave? You're older? No. You're 35. You look 35. You look way younger than me. No, that's maybe it's the no. I'm old, man. I'm old, and I did a ton of drugs in the 80s. A crap ton. Yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna live, to be honest with you. I've been pretty healthy since then, but Apoc 003 is 52. Ted Distel, look. So yeah, what's the age range here? The Dr. Dalek. Well, we kind of had. Didn't we have a Dr. Dalek? Yeah, we had that. Dalek hentai. Well, I'm sure that's around, Fred. But thanks for introducing it, because now we're gonna get. I bet you. Oh, I'll search that on my. Maybe I don't want to do that, but what the hell? Let's see. Is there a Dalek hentai? I'm not gonna want to see this. I really hope there isn't. Is that? It's tame. It's tame. Oh, that's not tame. Never mind. Oh, hope Mrs. Nerdrotic doesn't see that on my phone. She's gonna be all, you are getting a little too into Doctor Who now. Yes, Mecca Random. Mecca Random gets tons of heat. She can handle it though. So can Anna. That's the best part about it. They're not like, they're like, look at this and watch me take this person down. I was 50 on March 12th. Muggles cake sniffer. Speaking of Muggles, oh my God, those J.K. Rowling tweets and those memes have been an endless source of entertainment. Still today, they're still good today. God, I totally agree with Jeremy at the quarterings. He beat me to a video, but he always does. So he did a great video on this, kind of exposing the fake wokeness, and it's a beautiful thing. Watching that go down was that was actually a good showing the good of Twitter when sometimes good things happen, and that was a rare good thing. And unfortunately, I saw it while I was on a live stream, so I was like laughing my ass off, and I that was super rude. So I apologize to Jeremy. I didn't mean to do that. Loquacious Primate, you're 32, and you're way smarter than I am, dude. Janeway is my favorite captain, says Joel Tumburo. I will, once I'm done watching Farscape, which I'm almost done doing, I think I'll rewatch Voyager. God, I wish there was apparently, according to Robert Meyer Burnett, we're not going to get remastering of DS9 or Voyager, which totally sucks. Apparently it's too hard. Listen, I'm still waiting for a Buffy high def. The Buffy's still on DVD. All right. Let's get caught up on the super chats. Dude, this sucks. I can't even hear. I got to look at this. I can't even keep track of my viewers. I don't know if I lost a bunch or not, but I mean, whatever. Such is life. Oh, okay. We're doing good. It said I lost like 400. I'm like, really? Okay. Well, hey, can't win them all, baby. So, sup, Gary? I hope Doomcock didn't take my Alex Kurtzman Jekyll Hyde joke last night wrong. Joel, he did not. No, Janeway is my favorite Trek captain. All hail Dave Cullen and that Star Wars girl. Yes. Again, if you are not subscribed to that Star Wars girl and Dave Cullen, please do so. If my mods could link their channels in the description again, I would greatly appreciate that. And thank you so much for being here. You guys are brilliant. I know you've had to do a lot of extra work lately, and I greatly appreciate it. And I really appreciate you really learning how to mod with my voice. You guys have done a perfect job. I am blessed to have you. So thank you. Thank you so much. Ben Barbados. Hey, Gary, what do you think of Big Finish Doctor Who? I love it. You should also do a live stream with JP. I plan to. I absolutely plan to. I love JP. JP did a video and mentioned a live stream, and I thank you very much. JP's fun. He's a good guy. JP's like one of the good people on YouTube. He doesn't get involved too much. I mean, he hates CBS, but he really does everything with like a fun funny slant, and I appreciate that. I love Big Finish Doctor Who. I've given them way too much money, but I love it. Thomas Brown, thank you for the $1 super chat. I greatly appreciate it. If you got a question, put it up there in the chat. Let me get to the super chats here. God, I hate looking at myself. There we go. North American Vikinger, $5. Recast Captain Marvel. Okay, required. Two-tone hair, leather jacket, Southern belle, must be comfortable wearing gloves at all times, digs French accents. Rogue. There are more Rogue fans today than there ever have been. A North American Vikinger. And this is the one thing I need to see adapted immediately. If they there's a lot of people, they won't recast Captain Marvel yet because it's a hit. And believe me, they're going to set up her sequel. They'll put a bunch of Avengers in it. So they'll probably introduce a major character like Wonder Man. I could see them introducing like a periphery Avenger. So Wonder Man or, just think of somebody, and they'll introduce an Avenger, and then they'll have it guest a couple Avengers, like maybe Falcon or, Vision, or and that's the way they'll guarantee these will all be team up movies now. You're not Captain Marvel. I promise you will be the last solo, even though it technically wasn't solo because that had Nick Fury, but that's your last solo origin. They're going to be Marvel team ups. That's what people want. But they can get away with this once. Trust me. And for the Access Media to run their damn victory lap, go ahead. You expose yourselves more as a bunch of shills, and we can really forget. Let's set the agenda aside and let's have a real conversation. And I welcome anybody to come on. Let's have a real conversation and convince me Captain Marvel is a good film based on storytelling. Listen, I'm an open-minded person. I want to see an HD remaster of True Lies. Me too. And I want to watch True Lies more now than ever after Captain Marvel. I want to see a good toxic masculine movie. That's got Eliza Dushku, a very young Eliza Dushku in it. Mike Brown, thank you again. Yes, Mike Brown, thank you for the $5 super chat. Yes, I have 3 books sent you email about them last night. Atlantis Chronicles. Ooh, on Amazon. I'd like to send you copies of them. Feel free. My P.O. box is at nerdrotic.com. If you look to the right, you'll see my P.O. box. Yeah, let me check them out real quick. It's called Atlantis Chronicles. It's on Amazon.com. This is dangerous for me to go to Amazon, by the way. I always end up. By the way, I found an Excalibur soundtrack on vinyl. Yes. I had to buy it from Australia, but I found it. I'm so happy. Trevor Jones. I think Trevor Jones is gone now, isn't he? I think he's gone now. So Atlantis Chronicles. Send me a link. God, I'm so dumb about this stuff. It's not coming up unless you're using like a different name. Did you use a different name as a writer? I don't know. But you don't have to send me another super chat. Just hit add Nerdrotic and just tell me what to search on Amazon and I'll pub it here. Do you think Disney rehiring James Gunn means that Disney acknowledges that Captain Marvel was received horribly by the audience? Matt Baldwin, $5. That is a great question. And there's a 2-part answer to this. Yes and no. They never fired James Gunn, in my opinion. They waited roughly 6 to 7 months to rehire him. I'll give credit to my old co-host, Dennis, predicted this. I agreed with him months ago that he was going to come back. And I think other people did as well. I also think they hired him for exactly what that that Matt Morrison wrote in the article yesterday, I think they took a big loss with Star Wars as far as what they consider trolls. It's actually just fans criticizing. Uh, they took a big loss. It freaked them out, and they are now using the MCU. They see this as a victory against the same fandom when it's really not. They're going to get their eyes opened at Star Wars. Believe me, they're two different fandoms, but they see it as one big fandom. So they think they won one. They got one back after taking the big L with Star Wars. I'm simplifying this, but that was part of the reason for announcing James Gunn after Captain Marvel. It was also meant to deflect some of the negative press, but they weren't worried about it. They clearly had taken measures. This was talked about, and I believe Bleeding Fool talked about this, and I'm probably going to do a video on this, that a couple of off-the-record Disney execs said, yeah, we expected some quote-unquote trolling, in other words, criticism, and we took they did something to counteract it. They flexed their muscle to Rotten Tomatoes. They flexed their muscle to YouTube, or requested. I don't think they need to flex their muscle. I bet you all they had to do was go, hey, could you do this for us? And we'll bro you out somehow. And for some reason, competing companies bent the knee on that one. And of course, they had the Access media all along. They don't have to do a single thing. The Access media will fall in line and do their bidding, and Disney doesn't have to do anything. They just have to give them the illusion of access. They probably don't really have it. But that little, dangling that carrot out to the media, they'll just fall in line. And they'll probably not get anything back for it. So James Gunn was done to deflect that and change the conversation. It's still not a good conversation, so I think there could be a bit of an argument against that. I think they felt emboldened. They're like, oh, these are just trolls. We're going to hire them back. Screw those guys. We don't want to give them a voice. And completely, listen, they should hire back Roseanne too. And yeah, Roseanne said some salty stuff since, and Roseanne clearly might, listen, she has some stuff to work out, but it doesn't mean she's a comedian. She's a fucking comedian. That's how they act. And she should have her job 100%. James Gunn should have his job, and she should have her job. Does it affect how I see James Gunn now? I used to see James Gunn as like this fun loving guy. I didn't like his politics at all, but he was always really communicative with the fans. But I wouldn't, I don't have young children anymore. If I did, they wouldn't be anywhere near him, period. Because there are jokes, and you are certainly allowed to joke. And I'm not saying you're not allowed to joke, but there was a lot of jokes about that. Just saying. But he should definitely have his job back. I know that some people disagree with that, and that's cool. Tord Marcus Birkland Jacobson for 20 Norwegian crowns. Tell Dave Cullen to make more Orville videos. I will ask him, certainly. Dave Cullen, make more Orville videos. Yes, I would love to see more Orville videos from Dave Cullen. Absolutely. The thing that I like about Dave Cullen is he does something very similar to World Class Bullshitters. When he drops a video, each one is it's a tired phrase, but each one is a mic drop. Sometimes I'll just put out news videos and whatever, but he makes sure everyone has maximum impact. That's what I like. But definitely make more Orville videos, even if they're just fun. I would love to see it. Let me make sure I'm caught up here. All right, folks, it's getting late. I got to go. I'm going to run my Patreon video and read some more of the other super chat. I don't like to call it regular chat. I'll call it other super chat. I've got to change this again because we got some new patrons. So here's the deal with Patreon. I know some people have a problem with it, and I kind of do too, to be honest with you. I have some obligations to fulfill on Patreon. Here's my stance on Patreon right now. They got one more chance. One. They pull any shit like that again, I'm gone. I'm going to fulfill my obligations prior to me going to Italy. Everybody's getting their packages sent out in the next week or so. been working my ass off to get that done. I'm opening a subscribe star, but I think I'm leaning towards, I have my own website and I just use it to back up stuff. And I think I'm going to move everything eventually to that. I'm not leaving Patreon right now. I'm going to stay, but they're on a very short leash with me. And if they do that crap again, I'm gone. Because you hear that? Not that you're listening to me. Is it Jack? No, that's the Twitter guy. Whatever. Other guy with a beard who was a musician who runs Patreon. Pull that shit again, I'm gone. And that's it. And they should I think they should bring Sargon back. I don't, I used to listen to Sargon. I don't as much anymore. I mean, but he certainly deserves to be back there. All right, I'm going to go over and real quick look over, make sure I didn't miss any damn super chats, which I've been doing lately. Just to make sure. Okay, good. All right, let's get back to the regular. Sorry for the silence there, folks. I'm going to get back to the other super chat. Woo, it's flying. If Chris Farley was still alive, he would have been fired at some point too. You're right. Well, we already have comedians. There's an article where comedians taking aim at Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks, one of the greatest comedians ever. I mean, like a modern philosopher. Oh, yeah, that was another thing I was going to mention. Sorry, Andrew Griffiths. Yes, I'm starting a subscribe star as well. I'm starting a subscribe star. That will be in the next 24 hours. Phil G, thank you. Penn Farm Girl, thank you for your wrench today. I really appreciate it. Chris Persia, thank you. Before you go, show Gary you care, please click that like button. Yeah, thanks. I would really appreciate it. Thank you to that Star Wars girl and Dave Cullen for always being nice and being great YouTubers and continue kicking ass. I will try to get a video out today about I got a couple floating around in my head, but I'll get, just to please the damn algorithm, I'll get something out today. What did Patreon do? They kicked off Sargon and a couple of other creators based on what they said on a different platform. They silenced creators, and especially when they're a platform that's just a middleman that takes money from one side and hands it. They're completely unnecessary. Clownfish TV did a great video on it. Dave Cullen, I believe, has talked about it as well. Definitely check out and find out what happened with Patreon. They've been quiet lately, but that was bullshit. What they did, it was total bullshit. And, I was caught in a rock in a hard place because the channel was growing, but yeah, I'm not going to put up with it. They can't do that again, or they're gone. Thanks for the live stream. Oh, you're very welcome, Donnie Pearson. I appreciate it. Joe Public, APOC 003, comic book, black belt. Good night, sir. Alexander Vidakov. I'm sorry. Bye. The Austrias, Bjorn, Dave Cullen, that Star Wars girl, Penn Farm Girl, Matthew Matson. Please spell my name correctly in the next. Did I put 2 S's in there again? Damn it. Oh, is it? Oh, I forgot the second T. That's right. You have a great time, Phil G. Larry. Well, I got to fix the video anyway. I got to add 6 more people to it. So Matt too, I'll fix it. Cheers to you, 8-bit Snake Boy, Muggles. And Mary Ashby, thank you so much again for your wrench. And Muggles Cake Sniffer, thank you so much. And Montana Horseman, thank you. And I will be back on Wednesday at 12 noon. We will be doing exozones during the day. I will get you guys a date. It'll probably be in a couple weeks after I'm done from Italy. I am going to reach out to Dave Cullen. Hopefully we can talk to him. Friday Night Tights is going to actually this Friday Night Tights is going to be on a different channel. We're going to be on Josiah Rises. We're going to try to help him out a little bit. So I believe it's going to be Jeremy, myself, and who knows who else could show up on Josiah Rises channel this Friday.
So look out for that. That'll be fun. So we're going to get the band back together. Douglas Nelson, you did a great job with your wrench. Everybody have a great day. Go to nerdrotic.com for the live stream schedule. I will try to get a video out today. I just don't know which one I want to pick. And I will see you all soon. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness.